Hey everyone, and welcome back to ElectroDrive News. The pace of innovation never stops, and today, we're diving headfirst into the electrifying developments shaping our world. Get ready for a rapid-fire update that you absolutely do not want to miss. We're talking about breakthroughs, strategic shifts, and policy movements that are redefining the future of transportation. So buckle up, because the news cycle is moving at light speed, and you're getting the inside track right here, right now. We've got some massive stories brewing, so let's get straight to it. First up, a major development in electric vehicle infrastructure that's putting a specific state on the map like never before. Then, we're shifting gears to a bold new contender entering the EV arena, aiming to shake things up with a refreshingly different approach. Next, we're examining a strategic pivot from a major automotive giant as they navigate the evolving EV landscape. And finally, we're looking at innovative funding models that could become the new standard for supporting electric mobility. Stick around, because you won't want to miss a single second of this. Make sure you're subscribed and the notification bell is on so you never miss an update. Infrastructure milestone achieved. Pennsylvania is now leading the charge in electric vehicle infrastructure, achieving a significant milestone by tying for the top spot among states with the most EV stations funded through the Federal National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure (NEVI) program. State officials announced that following the recent opening of 2 new charging stations, Pennsylvania now boasts 19 operational NEVI-funded stations, matching Ohio's national lead. PennDOT Secretary Mike Carroll highlighted this achievement, stating that Pennsylvania is not only tied for the most operational NEVI stations, but also has more on the way. The newly opened stations are located at a Sheetz convenience store along Route 30 in York and another at a Sheetz along I-99 in Altoona, Blair County. Sheetz EVP of Petroleum Supply Management, Trevor Walter, expressed enthusiasm for the partnership, noting that the NEVI program enables them to expand their charging network more rapidly at familiar customer locations. This expansion represents a substantial federal investment of $10.5 million for the 19 completed stations, with PennDOT having successfully completed 3 funding rounds in 2023 and 2024 to strategically fill gaps along the state's alternative fuels corridors. Currently, 90 active NEVI projects are in various stages of development across 43 counties, representing a total federal commitment of $58.4 million, with a comprehensive list of awards available on PennDOT's website. The public reaction has been largely positive, with many praising the expansion of accessible charging options, while industry analysts see this as a crucial step in building out the national EV charging backbone. The rapid deployment highlights the effectiveness of federal state-private partnerships in accelerating EV adoption. Now, prepare yourselves for a completely different kind of EV story that challenges the very definition of a modern electric vehicle. Get ready to meet the vehicle that's being called the Anti-Cybertruck and discover how it plans to carve out its niche in a competitive market. The Anti-Cybertruck emerges. In a bold move that challenges the established norms of the electric vehicle market, startup Slate Auto is making waves with its debut EV, the blank slate pickup truck. Positioned as the Anti-Cybertruck, this innovative vehicle is designed with a lightweight, stripped-down, and low-tech approach, aiming for an accessible price point of under $20,000, even before considering the federal tax credit. While the $7,500 federal tax credit is set to expire on September 30, Slate Auto is forging ahead with its ambitious plans. The company is repurposing a former printing plant in Warsaw, Indiana, to serve as its production facility, embodying its cost-saving business model. The blank slate is remarkably simple in its construction, requiring only about 600 parts compared to the thousands found in traditional trucks, which allows Slate to bypass extensive paint shops and trim stations. This minimalist design philosophy extends to the customer experience, with Slate expecting owners to take their vehicles as is. The company recently hosted an open house at its Warsaw factory, which, despite ongoing demolition work, was met with optimism from local officials. The transition from a printing plant to an EV factory is expected to create over 2,000 jobs and inject a $400 million investment into the community. A significant boost after the plant's closure in 2023 led to 525 job losses. Notably, U.S. Representative Ruddy Yakim has publicly endorsed Slate Auto, crediting initiatives like the One Big Beautiful Bill Act for facilitating the factory's establishment and job creation. However, questions linger about the timeline and the broader implications of launching a new automotive venture amidst economic uncertainties and trade policies. Slate Auto has secured substantial funding, with its Series A round in 2023 totaling $111 million and a subsequent Series B round in 2024 reportedly reaching $700 million, supported by investors including Bezos Expeditions, General Catalyst, and TWG Global. This financial backing, coupled with CEO Chris Barman's extensive automotive engineering and leadership experience, positions Slate Auto to potentially appeal to a segment of the market underserved by high-tech, high-cost EVs. The company aims to attract buyers seeking affordable, zero-emission transportation, including enthusiasts in the automotive aftermarket. While new players are making their mark, established automotive giants are also navigating the dynamic EV landscape with strategic adjustments. Prepare for an insightful look into how one of the industry's major players is responding to current market demands and recalibrating its electric vehicle strategy. GM adjusts EV production amidst shifting demand. General Motors, GM, is making strategic adjustments to its production schedule at the Detroit Factory Zero plant, implementing temporary shift cuts for two of its electric vehicle models, the GMC Hummer EV and Cadillac Escalade IQ, from September 2 to October 6. This move is a direct response to weaker-than-anticipated U.S. demand for electric vehicles, aiming to align production output with current market realities. While the production of the Chevrolet Silverado EV and GMC Sierra EV pickups remains unaffected, the slowdown signals a broader recalibration within the automotive industry concerning the pace of EV adoption. Workers impacted by these temporary layoffs will be eligible for subpay and benefits, as per the existing agreement with the United Auto Workers. This situation underscores a significant challenge for automakers. The U.S. EV market is not expanding as rapidly as initially projected. 4 years ago, ambitious EV targets were set, bolstered by federal incentives and supportive regulations. However, the current landscape has shifted, with changes in administrations leading to the rollback of emissions standards and the expiration of key EV purchase incentives, making it more difficult for companies like GM to meet their earlier production and sales goals. GM has already initiated measures to adapt, including temporary job reductions at Factory Zero earlier this year and a significant redirection of investment towards gasoline-powered vehicles. The company also recently delayed the launch of a second electric truck plant and the Buick brand's first EV by 6 months, pushing back its target of 1 million North American EVs by 2025. CFO Paul Jacobson anticipates North American EV production and wholesale volumes to be between 200,000 and 250,000 units this year, with profitability expected in the fourth quarter as output reaches 200,000 units. This cautious approach mirrors that of other legacy automakers, such as Ford, which has also scaled back EV production and reconsidered plans for new electric models, while continuing to rely on its profitable hybrid lineup. Toyota has similarly postponed the U.S. production of its electric SUV to 2028, prioritizing hybrid models due to softening EV demand and the expiration of federal tax credits. Despite these adjustments, GM stock has shown resilience, gaining approximately 10% year-to-date, outperforming the broader industry's decline. Analysts note that GM trades at a forward price-to-sales ratio below the industry average, indicating a potentially undervalued stock. The company's ability to navigate these market shifts while investing in future technologies will be critical for its long-term success in the evolving automotive sector. As the automotive industry grapples with EV adoption rates and production strategies, a different kind of challenge is emerging in how to fund the very infrastructure that supports these vehicles. We're now turning our attention to a state considering a novel approach to transportation funding that could impact EV owners directly. Oregon considers pay-per-mile fees for EV owners. Oregon is on the verge of becoming the second U.S. state, following Hawaii, to implement mandatory pay-per-mile fees for electric vehicle (EV) owners as a solution to address a significant $300 million transportation budget shortfall. Lawmakers are convening for a special session to tackle this deficit, which jeopardizes essential services like snowplowing and road maintenance. A previous attempt to pass a comprehensive transportation funding package failed earlier this year, leaving hundreds of state workers facing potential layoffs and leaving the proposed road usage charge for EV drivers unresolved. Hawaii pioneered a mandatory road usage charge program in 2023 to offset declining fuel tax revenues resulting from the increasing prevalence of electric, hybrid, and fuel-efficient vehicles. Several other states are exploring similar concepts, with Oregon, Utah, and Virginia already operating voluntary programs. Experts view road usage charges as a promising long-term funding mechanism, but concerns persist regarding user privacy and the potential to discourage EV adoption. Liz Farmer, an analyst with the Pew Charitable Trusts, described the concept as a pretty major change and highlighted the difficulty in implementing something so different for the majority of drivers. Oregon's Transportation Department attributes the budget gap to inflation, projected decreases in gas tax revenue, and other spending constraints. Layoff notices were issued to nearly 500 workers over the summer, with plans to close a dozen road maintenance stations. Governor Tina Kotek has paused these measures and called for the special session to find a resolution. Some Republican lawmakers argue that mismanagement of funds by the Transportation Department is a primary issue. Governor Kotek's proposal includes an EV road usage charge equivalent to 5% of the state's gas tax, alongside a 6-cent increase in the gas tax, bringing it to 46 cents per gallon and other fee adjustments. The road usage charge is slated to be phased in starting in 2027 for certain EVs and expanded to include hybrids in 2028. Under this proposal, EV drivers would pay approximately 2.3 cents per mile or opt for an annual flat fee of $340, exempting them from supplemental registration fees. Mileage reporting options for drivers would include a smartphone app or the vehicle's built-in telematics, according to Scott Boardman, a policy advisor for Oregon's Transportation Department. As of May, Oregon had over 84,000 registered EVs, representing about 2% of the state's total vehicle fleet. Hawaii's program offers EV drivers the choice of paying $8 per 1,000 miles driven, capped at $50, or an annual fee of $50, with a mandate for all EV drivers to enroll by 2028 and expansion to all light-duty vehicles by 2033. Privacy concerns, including those related to GPS devices and data security, have been raised in past surveys conducted by Oregon's Transportation Department. The state's voluntary program has attempted to address these by deleting mileage data 30 days after payment receipt and phasing out plug-in GPS devices. However, opposition remains, with Arizona voters set to decide on a measure banning mileage-based taxes. Brett Morgan of Climate Solutions cautioned that road usage charges exceeding equivalent gas taxes could deter EV purchases, especially as federal tax incentives are set to expire. And that wraps up our deep dive into these critical developments. We've covered a lot of ground today, from infrastructure milestones to market strategies and funding innovations. That's a wrap on today's essential updates. We saw Pennsylvania tie for the most federally funded EV stations, a brand new budget EV aiming to disrupt the market, GM adjusting its EV production in response to demand, and Oregon considering a pay-per-mile system for EV drivers. Don't forget to like this video if you found it informative, subscribe to ElectroDrive News for more cutting-edge updates, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a beat. Let us know your thoughts on these stories in the comments below, and follow us on all social media platforms to stay connected. We'll see you in the next one.